the first question we always like kind of started off like this is like, who's the first person to like bust your ass, like give you buckets that you was like, oh, he got all them on me.
In the league?
In the league. The first person, and you was like, man, this is a high level game right here. This ain't college no more.
Man, one time I had to go Melo. I wasn't right.
This was Denver? Denver Melo?
It was with the Knicks.
Oh, okay.
They hit us for, I don't know if we won the game or not, but I know he had 50 that night. But I didn't get all of them 50. He was already hot when I got on him.
But you feel like you got some of that.
Yeah, man, but you know how that is, man. You hate to be the one that coach put in to cut the water off.
Yeah.
Somebody already cooking
So
with
you
grease.
ain't like you a fireman, put the fire
I
out.
got hit too. Bop, bop, bop. I wasn't ready.
Never stop, never settle. Who's the power forward that like gave you work and you was like, man, he got that on me?
There ain't been too many, I tell you that.
Straight up.
Few
and
and
down.
far in between, my boy. But I mean, everybody talk about, you know, the finals that I had against Dirk. You know, when we won the championship, and you know how I was able to be such a huge asset defensively against him. But you know what I'm saying, Dirk is probably something that I had never seen before. So up until that finals where I had some success defensively, you know, it was a tough cover. You know, he was very tough cover. You never really see power forwards setting ball screens on the side and then coming out triple screens on the baseline as a power forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was very uncomfortable. So before even getting into that series, having a game plan for him in that series, he put a couple things on me. he put a couple things on me. So I was already seasoned by the time I got into that finals against him.
Yeah. So you was ready to go.
Yeah, I was ready to go, and I got tired of my homeboys telling me, "Oh man, let Dirk tear your ass up." You know how your homeboys do, boy. You know.
Yeah, they
talked
talked
go
about
home
me.
and hear that. Oh man, that was my motivation in the finals. Man, I got to go home and hit these boys with this bullshit.
Yeah. That'll motivate
I gotta
you.
go home and hit these boys with this bullshit.
I always like that. I can't let nobody embarrass me on TV.
Man, listen
Because
here,
I'm going to
man.
hear about it. My
Boy,
people going
let
to tell
say
me about
ain't
it.
nothing worse than your homeboys when you get cooked.
Word. That's a fact. They gonna roast you. They gonna tell you exactly
Hey,
how
if
it
they see you
was.
in any type of highlight to this day right now, they be like, oh yeah, I seen you right there under the goal when Vince windmilled that joint.
Oh, you want to talk to me like that? You ain't do that shit to Dirk. They get on you, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Your high school, I can't even think of the name of it no more.
Miami Senior, Stingerees, Miami
Straight
Senior
up,
High
my
School.
bad. Why did you choose that high school? And tell me the journey of that high school.
And tell them how they ducked my high school.
Then we ain't duck y'all, man. We
I'm
wanted
saying.
all the smoke. That's how them young Thundercats talk. We want all the smoke. But nah, we you know, I was born in Miami. Actually, you know, until I was 10 years old. And then I moved around a lot as a kid. So you know, I was raised, you know, by my father and my stepmother. And I ended up going to Jacksonville for about 4 years. And that's actually when I picked up a basketball. Because born and raised, you know, down here, we just play football. That's all we do. So, you know, down here, I was actually a football player. You know, I ended up moving to Jacksonville for a little while. My stepmom job, you know, relocated us. So I ended up playing basketball up there. And that's when, you know, basketball came kind of natural. So, you know, I moved back down here, you know, to finish up school, and I ended up going to Miami High. You know, everybody know Northwestern down here. That's where my daddy went. My daddy was a Dade County Player of the Year. He a legend, you know, basketball-wise, and that's where he wanted me to go. He probably ain't talked to me for about a month when I decided to go to Miami High. But I went to Miami High, played for Frank Martin. Man, it was the best decision I ever made. Best decision I ever made, man. I not only got, you know, a great basketball education, but I got another mentor. You know, and as an inner city kid, you can never have too many mentors. You know what I'm saying?
Like another father figure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you call Frank 5 in the morning, he'll come pick you up. That's the kind of coach he was.
You played with Steve Blake. I played with Steve Blake with the Portland Trail Blazers.
Yes,
How was
sir.
that in high school, playing with Steve
Man,
Blake?
you know, we kicked Blake out the gym. he used to want to come play with us, and we used to kick him out the gym. This white boy, come on, man, get out of here, man. You ain't from here. You ain't like he kept coming back. And then when we finally let him play, because the thing was, our high school was already kind of envied for success. Yeah. So the last thing we wanted to do was add more envy with bringing in a guy like Steve Blake. You know what I'm saying? Who was already a hell of a talent where he was at. So it just would have caused more problems for us. But we couldn't deny his talent. Couldn't deny his talent. And when he finally came in and played with us, shit, everybody else had to take a step back. He was our starting point guard from that point on. Yeah, you know what I mean. And he a tough one.
Did you start varsity? Like when you first got there? Yeah. I
always played
from 9th all the way to 12th.
Varsity football and basketball the whole time.
How many championships did y'all win?
Shit, when I was there, we won back to back, and before I got there, they had just won one. So it was 3 in a row.
So.
We were supposed to play Q then.
So what happened with that game when we were supposed to play y'all? Because we was the best team in America.
Let me tell you something, man.
In America,
everything happened for a reason. But I sure wish that game would have happened because there would have been something to talk about today. But the state of Florida, there's a law where you're not allowed to play. Well, there was around our time. I'm not sure what the rules are now. There's a law that you're not allowed to play games on Sundays. So the game that we were supposed to travel out of town and play them on their turf was going to be on a Sunday.
Yeah.
They ain't want no problem.
But y'all supposed to came to Chicago.
Yeah, we supposed to came up there.
Because I know in Illinois, it's a rule that we can't go 200 miles when we play. We couldn't go 200 miles outside our state.
Okay.
To play anybody.
Yeah, we were supposed to go play them in Chicago.
So I know y'all probably had to come
out. We'd have ran that up.
We wanted all the smoke, man.
We'd have ran that up.
Thundercats say, man, we wanted all that, man. We wanted all that.
Hey, listen.
I was about 50 pounds heavier too, boy.
That was big UD.
Hey, I'd have got curious on that chain, but he wouldn't have been able to get around me. Now I'd have had to try to keep up on the way back down now.
Let me ask you this. You came up in the circuit like we came up in the circuit. It was like camps. Mm-hmm. It was camps, and like you remember all them players, the rankings, and all the players. Just tell us like
this is where I first met you.
What about the camps and stuff? Because it'd be in camps. It'd be them Florida boys and them Texas boys, it's them Chi-Town boys, them Illinois boys, them B-more boys, and them Cali boys.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It'd be like
it was all
everybody, but tell us like the circuit and the players that you seen coming up that you was like, man, he dope.
I met Q. You know what I'm saying? And I first met him, and we actually clicked and vibe, which was crazy. Yep. Like, you know what I'm saying? On some real, you know what I'm saying? We vibe. You know, it was all good. It was all love. Whenever I seen him after that point. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when you go into those camps, man, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us ain't never really been outside our environment. So when you get in other circles around other people, man, you don't know how to react, man. You kind of stick to yourself. Like, I ain't fucking.
Or you stick to your state.
Or your crit, you know what I'm saying? So for me to vibe with somebody like that was rare, you know what I'm saying? So I always valued that, you know what I'm saying? Understanding that. But, you know, T-Mac, I played with T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, Keon Doolin. Yeah. I had the first chance to see Mike Miller, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't know I was going to be playing with Mike, obviously, and going to college with Mike. But, you know, I just remember seeing, you know, watching this team, and they ain't had nobody black on their team. So I just thought I was just going to be wasting my time. But we was playing the next game. I ended up watching. You know, I see this guy bringing the ball up the court, shooting, posting up, running the point, rebounding. And I'm like, man, this is a unicorn. We hear about this, but we don't see this. That's how a white boy like this. What is this?
That's how Nick Collison and Kurt. When I was coming to AAU, Nick Collison and Kurt Heinrich was like the same way. They didn't have a black dude on their squad, but they used to be.
I was like, man, listen, he made an impression on me because you know what, you gotta listen. I ain't saying, but I gotta see it. Yeah. So once I seen that, because like I say, you only know what you grew up around, what you see, and what's your environment. I ain't never seen nobody play like that. Yeah. And then, you know, at that point, we ended up going to University of Florida together. So, you know, those were some of the influences, some of the guys that I had the chance to see, man.
Do you remember when you got to the University of Florida, right? I can't remember whether it was your first or your second year.
Yeah, I remember that.
They came on up to the United Center, played against them
man,
Blue Demons from DePaul. Y'all was ranked higher than us, too. Y'all was ranked like number 10 or what was it, number 10 or something?
We was.
They was ranked.
We was.
Came on up in that UC. I was like, look at you.
This is true. This is true. I forgot about that. I should have left that high school.
Yeah. What you
I should have left that high school story alone.
I don't remember what I had, but I know I had 20 plus.
I should have left that high school story alone. That's what I should have did, because then he would have never brought this up. Nah, I think I remember. I don't know his numbers, but I know he had a double-double. I remember that.
You know,
he definitely had a double, because I think around that time or that year, you was like leading the nation in double-doubles or something like that. Like, I always respected that. So I think he got to the money now.
One of the kids from my high school right now play wide receiver for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yes, sir. Smart kid.
Jeff Thomas, man.
Smart kid.
About a good player. And,
smart kid.
You from Miami?
Mr. Miami.
Kid. Smart kid.
Why not the Hurricanes and go to the Gators? What made you choose the Gators? Like,
smart kid. Just like I said about your young fella, I was a smart kid, man. I understood for me to be able to be where I wanted to be and who I wanted to be, I got to get out of this environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to get away, but not out of the state of Florida, because I can't stand the cold.
Yeah.
So I was like, at that time, my high school teammate Brent Wright went to University of Florida. My other high school teammate Sylvan Robinson had signed to go to University of Florida.
Shout out Sylvan. I played him at Nike camp. He was on my team.
That's my dog. So he signed to go to Florida, and then Steve Blake was also in the recruitment to go to Florida. So it was something that was looking like it was going to be a lot of guys going to Florida. And Anthony Grant was the assistant at Florida at that time. Also went to Miami High, my high school. Grant from over town. Like he plugged like that. So it just felt comfortable for me to go to University of Florida, and like I said, to still get out of Miami, but still be close to home.
Yeah.
Talk about, you know what I'm saying, after college and your process of going, you went undrafted, went overseas to France, and then came back, and then really, really got it in and made your way into the league the hard way, you know what I'm saying, came through the back door, but once you got in, you know what I'm saying, you changed your body completely. Like, I'll never forget when I first saw you, like, I was like, yo.
Man, I'm going to be real, man. I gave myself one night to throw a pity party when I got to France. One night, I felt bad for myself. And I had a bottle of Hennessy and a Black and Mild.
Listen.
And that was my one night to feel bad for myself.
Yeah.
One night to feel bad for myself.
Shout out to sponsors.
For sure. Yeah. It's not a coincidence, man. I had a bottle of Hennessy and a Black and Mild. Yeah. And I sat in on my back porch. They gave me a nice little crib. I had a nice little car. First night I got there, man, I sat on my back porch and I said, man, ain't no way I'm supposed to be here. Ain't no way I'm supposed to be here. And from that point on, I made a point to myself. I stayed on American time. So I used to sleep during the day and be up at night. Because in my mind, I'm saying this ain't it. I'm just here for a little bit. I'm gonna be back home. So I never got on French time. So you know what I'm saying. I used to be up. You know what I'm saying, for the games. Word. You know what I'm saying. Then I come home. I stay up, and then I go to sleep during the day. I take a nap. I go to practice. Then I come home, take another nap. Then I be up all night. And I just stayed on that schedule, man. Just that mindset. Like, I ain't finna be here like that. I'm up out of here after this year.
Yeah.
And so from there you went to the Heat Summer League.
Yeah,
right?
man. I came back. You know what I'm saying. I had some offers. The Heat Summer League was the first one, and then off San Antonio was the second one. So, I show up to the Heat, man. It's about 50 people in there, and they only keeping one. I'm like, hold on now. It sound like, I don't know. So, there's a lot of veteran guys in there too. So it's like, for them to take a chance on a young guy at that time, which was me. I didn't know how that was going to play out, but I know at the end of the day I was going to do everything that I could do possibly, in my power to, put myself in a position to make that team, man. And it was just something small, man, like that really, like, kind of catapulted to me being where I'm at today. It was just a play going on. It was a loose ball. The ball rolled. I chased it almost damn near the half court, grabbed the ball, and then Riles blew the whistle. And he looked at me like, I thought I did something wrong. He was like, well, why didn't you stop? I say, well, it was a live play. The whistle ain't blow. And he just smiled at me. And it was just something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they always tell you never know when people watching. It was just something like that, man. With him, I guess he seen something in me. With just a play like that where everybody stopped except for me. Right. You know what I'm saying? That kind of catapulted me here today. Just the little things.
Yeah. We played with Lamar Odom.
That's my guy.
When you got to the league, you got an opportunity to play with Lamar Odom. Like,
coming in.
How was like LO to you?
Love
he's
LO,
like
man.
L. Joseph.
Love LO,
We
man.
love LO,
Love
like.
LO, man. I had so much fun. I learned so much from LO, man. You know, king of the shit talking, man. Like, listen, man. Listen, every day after practice is a one-on-one with LO. Every day after practice is a one-on-one because he done sold somebody out. So now he got to play. Now he got to play one-on-one with somebody after practice because he done sold them out for an hour and a half, and now they want all the action after practicing a one-on-one. You know how that is, man. I love LO, man. We had some good times, man. It was fun, you know, playing with him and also learning from him. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude, man. I always had much respect for LO.
That's what's up. You won a championship. And you won it with Gary Payton, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, Shaquille O'Neal, Lonzo Mourning, D. Wade, like Antoine Walker. Like you won a championship with them, and I know these was guys that you was looking at on TV just a couple of years ago, or you know what I'm saying, being a fan of the NBA and a fan of the game, and now you just in it with them, going all the way to the championship and winning the championship with them. How did that like feel?
Man,
like was that surreal?
It was crazy because the first NBA jersey I ever owned was a Alonzo Mourning jersey, and I ain't even pay for it. I couldn't afford it. I got it from my homeboy Buckwheat. Shout out Buckwheat. Shout out Buck over Towners for life, man. My dog, he hooked me up with my first Alonzo Mourning jersey, man, and to have the opportunity to play with Alonzo Mourning, like that's crazy to me. You know, it's crazy to me. You know, have the opportunity to see the glove, you know, playing with Sean Kemp and all that, and have the opportunity to go out there and play with him. Yeah, you know, is another honor. You know, like playing for Pat Riley. You know what I'm saying? I think it took me a year to get comfortable around Pat. You know, the great Pat Riley, and you know, just being around greatness.
Just talk about
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's what
Pat,
I wanted to ask you.
You know
like Pat Riley.
And I remember
you
when
got coached by Pat Riley.
I remember when I first got here, and like you remember it was only you and JJ. It was the only ones here at that time. I came in. It was middle of the summer. Everybody was gone and everything, and my first thing, like, remember when I first got there, I'm fresh from the airport. I didn't get to go to the hotel or nothing. I come straight in. They got me dropping my bags and getting straight down to my boxes and getting weight and body fat right away. UD sitting there looking at me like, damn, dog, they trying you right now. Like, you ain't even been to, you ain't even been to the hotel yet. I'm like, man, I ain't did nothing. He like, man, he like,
adjusted to the time.
First thing he said, that damn Pat, boy. He said, damn Pat. And like, just talk about like, as soon as I got there, he was legend about the stories and all that. Like, tell me like what's one of the craziest, like, but like the epitome of Pat being Pat.
The culture is real. You know what I mean? When people talk about it and you hear about it, the culture is real. You know, he believes in being the hardest working team. You know, unliked. You know what I'm saying? A little nasty. You know what I'm saying? He believes in that. You know, he believes in that culture, and that culture has been successful. So, you know, there's standards that come with that that's expected. You know what I'm saying? So to be the best athlete you can possibly be, you got to be in shape, first and foremost. And he believe in that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, you know, I don't know nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And there's times where I'll be like, damn, boy, body fat today. I can't eat nothing tonight. I want to eat this. I want to eat that. You know, I want to have a sip. I will have a sip of this. Or I have a sip of that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't think that if I wasn't as disciplined as I am now, you know what I'm saying, maybe 16 years later, I might not be here having the same success that I have. Yeah. You know, so it's two sides to it. You know what I'm saying? You got to give up something. You know what I'm saying? You can't have your cake and eat it too all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't have your cake and eat it too all the time. Sometimes you got to sacrifice certain things, man. So, you know, I don't regret none of it, man. I got 3 rings. I'm the leading rebound organization. I done did something right, and he's had something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? I've had a lot to do with it, but he's definitely had something to do with that success as well.
Like I tell them all the time. Well, not just him, but like anybody when I talk about the Heat. Like you remember the one year we was there. Like it literally like have you, like he said, like when we go out to dinner, when we out on the road, or when we going out, like if we going to a club, whatever we doing, like you literally are being conscious about it, like, yo,
it's
like, you better quit tripping, bro. Like, you know, we got like I'll never forget, like we went to the Bahamas, me, D. Wright, and J.O. and you know we came, like that was the first time like we over there on All-Star break hanging out, and we all basically policing each other, like, yo, bro, I don't know what you're doing with that daiquiri right there, bro. You tripping, like, bro. Then we all get back and go straight from the plane to the steam room, ride the bike and do all of that, cause we know when first thing in the morning you know what you about to get.
It's a lifestyle, bro. It's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm at the end of the day, I'm locked in. Like regardless of whether my career ends this year or next year, whenever it ends, I'm gonna continue to live my life, like this, because I see the results of being healthy. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it ain't for everybody, but I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
I credit them for like how I changed my body.
I
Like, you know
remember
what I'm
that.
saying? When
I
I got
remember
here,
that.
bro,
I
like,
remember
I mean,
that.
you saw me beforehand and
I
he
remember
saw
that.
the entire process. Literally, like him and James Jones was in the gym with me. How many
Remember that
times
day
did
we
I
was
throw
running?
up every
Yeah.
single
And he
day? And
kept
Bill
running,
come
dog.
take
He
pictures.
kept
I thought I was
running,
about to
dog.
be done.
I thought
Bill
he was-
took the picture and was like, he gave me a Gatorade and I'm sitting there. He was like, all right, you ready to finish? I'm like,
I remember the first time you ran, I think you came up there and I think I ended up
cause
running
you
with
told me, you was like, bro, you still should be down there on the treadmill. You shouldn't come up here like you ain't. I was like,
I was
man,
like, you ain't want to jump up in here. You in this fight like this
So you
here,
ain't
bro.
want this.
I said, nah, you don't want to jump in this fight like this, Q Rich. You might well go ahead and go on downstairs first.
for real, you like you start out on the treadmill
Boy,
first,
hey.
bro. Like I'm like, man, I
When
don't.
monkey jumped on that boy back.
That boy was early.
Man, throw it up right there. Then Bill came and took the picture of it, bro.
Man, but it was all water. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he was doing. He was high. I don't know if he thought he was high. He need to hydrate some more, man. He throw it up all water. I said, damn, that's the first thing not to do. Drink all that damn water,
Bro.
How when you about to come up here?
But I lost. I
Gotta be
can't.
dry.
Yeah, you get hydrated during the workout,
Right.
not before.
Bro, him and JJ was looking at me
nothing else
laughing.
to it.
Damn.
I remember one day UD said, "Hey, bro, I ain't even gonna too much about to lie to you." He said, "They throwing." He said, "They just right now. They just seeing how far they could go with you, bro. Like they throwing everything at you,
It's just
bro."
like, because it's a mindset, man. The things we do, before a training camp is, we do the conditioning test. You know what I'm saying? And it's
the wall.
it's not really basketball oriented, because
At all.
everybody know that play basketball know that to get in basketball shape, you just got to play basketball.
Yeah.
You can run on the treadmill, you can run sprints all you want.
Yeah.
You don't, until you play basketball,
Basketball,
you
you
ain't
don't
gonna get in
get in
basketball
shape.
shape. So
Man.
this test is just completely mental.
Yeah.
So I was just telling Kurish, man, as he was going through it all, I was like, man, it's mental, bro. It's mental. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? Just that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And when I get mad, when I feel like somebody pushing me or something to do, like the last thing I'm gonna let you see is like me bending down and all tired. So if you want to keep running, I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna be tired as hell, but I ain't finna let you get the satisfaction of seeing me bent down, can't
Busted
stand up
up,
no
yeah.
more.
How proud was I? How proud was I when I stopped throwing up? Like I
Man,
was telling
listen.
everybody, like, yo, I ain't. This is today the first day I ain't throwing.
Like a little kid.
Yeah,
You
because at the end of the day, we all been there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to lose a lot of weight too, so I've been there. So I know once you finally get to that point where you cross that bridge, you know what I'm saying, and you see the results and yourself athletically, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and you see the way you changing as far as your stamina and all that, man.
Yeah.
Like, I know how that feel, you know what I'm saying? I lost all my weight. I did a 360. It was just different for me just because I came from Europe. So when I
Yeah.
came back, I had been gone for 9 months, so people seen like a whole nother person.
Yeah.
I actually watched Q Rich as he was going through the process, you know what I'm saying? So I know how I feel when you cross that bridge. You be like, damn, boy, I got that monkey off my back.
Like I was proud of Draymond Green for shedding that baby fat off him and getting more toned up.
Yeah.
Because he became a better player when he toned himself up and he moved better and moved around and been more.
He definitely moved that
Kevin
needle for
Love
them.
did it too.
Yeah, he definitely
Lost
moved that
a lot
needle
of
for them
weight,
defensively.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Kevin Love too. K Love like a whole different player than what
definitely
he was in
over
Minnesota.
Minnesota. He
Yeah.
was,
You know what I'm
in
saying? He was like a
UCLA,
whole
he was
different
like
player.
a chubby boy.
Yeah, he look like a whole different player. So yeah, and the thing is, once you lose it, keeping it off though. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Keeping it off. You know what I'm saying? Because that becomes, easy to do, is just let it come back on. Especially if you retire and walk away from the game. That's the biggest situation that you got to probably face.
Yeah. D Wade is like the player that's like attached to you. He from Chicago, you from Miami.
I tell you, I get along with a lot of Chicago people, man. I don't know. For real, man. It be natural, man. It just, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
He
But
from Chicago.
it be natural.
He from Chicago, you from Miami, and y'all been on a long journey, and like y'all just became brothers from being with this organization for so long, winning championships, having the up and down years, having the whole change, and you look around and the only person you see is each other. Tell us the relationship you like, that brotherhood, and how it grew when the first time you met D Wade to where it is now.
So the first time we met was in that summer, spending that whole summer together, you know, working out with the Heat. You know, like I said, when I got back, you know, getting ready for Summer League, you know, obviously they got guys coming in, getting ready to play Summer League. So, you know, we pretty much spent that whole summer together working out. You know what I'm saying? Going to the gym together, and Q know how the off-season workout schedule is. You know what I'm saying? So, in the morning, we pretty much was, you know, going to the gym. Or, no, in the morning, we go to the track. In the morning would be the track, would be conditioning. You know, after that, we would end up to the gym, would be weight room, and then on the court workouts. And then later on that night, we would probably come back and go, well, actually, after weight room and on the court workouts, we'll go play pickup. Yeah. At that time, we'll go play pickup. We'll play at the arena. And then later on that afternoon, we'll probably go play at, you know, Alonzo Mourning's youth center. That was over time. So we played a lot of basketball and hung out a lot together. Both of us had kids at a young age. We had a lot in common. Both of us had kids already. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had a son. He had a son. You know what I'm saying? My son's actually a little older. But we both had kids at a young age. You know, both our parents, you know, me and mothers, you know, had struggles as kids, you know, with you know, different things that they had to go through. So we related on that level, and our mothers ended up actually, you know, bonding on a lot of different levels and being good friends over some of the things that they dealt with. So, you know, she ended up befriending my mother, you know, but before my mother passed. So, you know, that was another thing that, you know, was different for me because, you know, our relationship went beyond just me and him. You know, our mothers actually made a bond. And, you know, before my mother passed away, I know, Mrs. Wade was a real good friend to her. Yeah. So, you know, it was just so many things that we bonded on so many levels. And we had a lot of success together. And, man, regardless of how we both translate the way we get to the success, we both work hard and try to get to it the same goal. You know what I'm saying? We just do it differently. And, you know, I think the thing about having good friends in this world, and we all understand that, like I said, Q was being from Chicago when I first met him, and how we vibe is to understand that people going to be different, man. Everybody ain't going to be like you. But you got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't going to be like you. Everybody ain't going to talk like you. Everybody ain't going to act like you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But you got to respect that. You got to know how to act when you in other people's circle and you in other people's cities. You know what I'm saying? And respect that, because everybody ain't like you and you ain't like everybody.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? So just understanding that first about him, and understanding that he understood that about me, but understand that regardless of that, we different. You know what I'm saying? We come from a lot of different similar things, and we got similar goals in life. So, you know what I'm saying? For me, that was just natural for us, man. Like, I sit here with y'all today, you know what I'm saying? And me and Q ain't played together, you know what I'm saying, in a few years. And I ain't seen you in a few years, but when we bump into each other, it's always love. You know
right back where we left off.
Love. You know what I'm saying? You pick up where you left off, and that's how you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't see somebody for a few weeks, a couple of days, and they start acting funny, then, I mean, you know what that is.
Exactly.
Yeah. You shouldn't feel no type of way, because I don't. So if you do, then what's up with you though? What's your, you know what I mean? Where you at with it? Because I'm good. We Gucci still, as long as I know.
Yeah, straight up. What's like a funny rookie story or a funny story with Shaq, that team with Shaq now? Like a funny story with D Wade. What's the funniest story with D Wade that you have?
One funny story is with Shaq, right? One funny story is when him and Riles got into it. Everybody know, you know what I'm saying, before Shaq ended up leaving.
Pat Riley?
Yeah, you know, when him, he wrote about it, I think, in his book. You know, when him and, before he ended up leaving us and going to Phoenix, him and Riles had got into it. So it was like face-to-face, confrontation, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of talking back and forth, and, nobody wasn't backing down, and me being the stand-up guy I am, you know what I'm saying? I just stepped in the middle. I was like, come on, big fella, man. You just go ahead, big fella. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Man, I ain't never had a man push me like I was a little boy.
He just moved you out the way.
No, I ain't going to hit him. Fuck that. Bro, I flew about 5 feet. And at that point, I said, man, I ain't going back. That ain't my fight. I'm out of there. I ain't got you ain't going to be pushing on me like that, big fella. And it was too easy for you to push on me like that. I ain't like that. When
I got to the league, I was a $195 soaking wet.
Man, I was 230 at that time. That man pushed me like a little boy.
Every time I ran into Shaq, it hurt.
Man, I was 230, man.
Into him, it's just like my
I was
whole right side.
230, D-Miles. That man pushed me out the way like a little boy. Can you imagine what he would have did to Pat? Man, great day. That was funny. With me and D Wade, oh man, we had a lot of funny stories, man. We got a lot of funny stories. But I remember one time somebody had stole his car. And he had a chain in the car. So he told me he found out somebody stole his car. So I say, hey, listen, you want me to find out what's going on? This, that, and the third. So I get a phone call. So my homeboy tell me, okay, such and such, we found out where the chain at, we found out where the car at, asked D-Wade he want the chain in it, whatever. So I come to D-Wade, I say, listen, man, my homeboys found out who got the chain. I think he found the car. That's what happened. He found the car, but he didn't get his jury back. So I had found out where the jury was at. So I say, hey, listen, man, my homeboys found out where your jury at. Where you want your jury back? He was like, yeah, okay. I was like, cool. I said, I'm going to get the jury back. I said, but listen, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, like, what, you know, if I get this jury back, like, however they get it back is how they get it back. Nah, I don't want it back. I don't want it back.
You can have it now.
You will. I don't want it back. We don't want it back.
I'm cool on that.
Yeah, we don't want it back. We don't want it back. But yeah, that was real funny. But I mean, we got a tons of stories, man. That's my dog, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like I say, D-Wade's like a brother to me, man. He called me 5 a.m, man. I ain't asking no questions. I'm there. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
So, you know, that's just a relationship we got. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man. Yeah.
So I basically, like I was saying earlier when we was talking, I consider, you know, you like, basically we all peers, but like you like one of the last one of us left. Like this, like a real gatekeeper. I feel like in the game, like you stretch all the way to, you know what I'm saying, to early 2000s to, you know, to where these guys is playing in the league now. Like those are basically the real guys they grew up watching. And then you played with a lot of the guys that these guys are, you know, that are OGs now, these guys.
Of course,
okay,
brother. I didn't want to cut you. I've been eyeing it for a minute. That's what
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
I'll sit with you.
But sitting here looking, yes, sir.
Yeah, let me indulge. Add.
To still being here though. Cheers to still being here.
Word up.
You know what I'm saying? Living life, because, you know what I'm saying, we all know where we come from is crazy.
True story.
You know, so we here.
But like speaking on that, being like I said, you one of the real last OG gatekeepers that you know, you can say when you first came in, it wasn't even NBA headbands and everything yet. You know what I'm saying? Like the game was a lot different. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of turning the corner to where you had a lot of guys coming straight out of high school, and you had that wave coming through. But it was still a older league than it is now. You know what I'm saying? The rules and the way things were, the way people played, the interpretation of who was a real tough guy, and you know things like that was
like
different.
You're a legit center now.
Yeah, I know, right?
And a legit enforcer though, like, you know, we don't call names or do things like that on here, but I'm just saying, speaking to
some tomfoolery going on.
Exactly. Just speaking to the fabric of it now.
Some tomfoolery going on, man.
As opposed to then, to where, you know, like I brought up Big Cat the other day, like he was legit. Like, can we please just talk about this for a second, bro? Like how at certain times, like Spo would turn to him and want to put him in the game and would look at him and tell him like, he would tell him to like, I want to put you in the game, but I know you're gonna do something.
He had a meeting one time. In the meeting, he told the Big Cat, you gotta stop. I can't play because you keep fucking people up. He can't keep doing that.
Big Cat was
Big
crazy.
Cat, boy.
I played with him in Portland.
Big Cat was listen. Now, and I was young, dumb, and I was trying to fight Big Cat one time when he was in Charlotte. I ain't gave a damn. Man,
got
I was
the
ready to square off with Big Cat. Man, Big Cat hands big as this table. If Big Cat hits you, if Big Cat hits you and grab you, case closed.
Hey,
if Big Cat hits you and grab you, case closed. Your best bet is to strike hard and strike fast. The Big Cat hands is huge, man.
Yeah, you're going to have to come with it.
Yeah, man. He's one of the funniest dudes I know, man. He's one of the funniest guys I know, man. To this day, man, we and Big Cat still have fun when we see each other. He's a funny dude. He's a funny dude.
Let me ask you this. LeBron came. Bosh came. And we talked to D-Wade about this story. It was like everybody knew, and it was like only person I knew that was gonna be definitely included was you. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Brian and Bosh. What did you think about that summer when all that happened and went down for y'all was built to win championships?
Another thing that people don't know, you know what I'm saying, or people, you know, some people do know is, you know, the Heat didn't have money for me that summer. You know, so I was actually about to leave. So, you know, I was on my way down to the arena, you know, to have a sit down with Pat, you know, because at that time all the Heat had to offer was a minimum contract after, you know, they had so many guys, all those guys coming in. At that time I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other offers. So, you know, it was like, you know, I was in the prime of my career, you know what I'm saying? I had other off It was like I think around 40-something million from Denver at that time. So, you know, to go not to take that and to play for a million or the minimum, whatever. I think it was 1.5 at that time, whatever. That's crazy, and I'm still in my prime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was on my way down to sit down with Pat and basically say, you know, thank you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity when nobody believed in me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get here today without y'all. So as I exited the freeway, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if me and D-Wade was texting or if I called him. But, you know, it was more like, you know, my boy, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm always, you know, we're going to always vibe. But, you know, I probably got to move on from here. So as I pull up to the arena, you know, I get a call from my agent, you know, the late, great, you know, Henry Thomas, you know, another, you know, mentor that I've been blessed to have, you know, in my life. He tells me, you know, just wait a second, you know, before you go in to see Pat, because, you know, it was that time I was really ready to look Pat in the face and be like, man, I love you guys, I appreciate it, but, you know, I felt that was the right thing to do, you know what I'm saying, if I was gonna move on, you know, to do it like that. So Hank hit me and was like, just chill for a second, don't go in Pat office, like, you know, give me a second, we might have a deal. So D-Wade get on the phone, he called Bron, he called CB, and he tell these guys, listen, you know, we about to lose this piece. You know, and I think, you know, he can be, you know, real instrumental into us winning these championships that we shooting for, you know, and so he told all those, I don't know how the numbers worked out or how he did it, but everybody took a less piece than the max just to make a little money for me. You know, it still was less than what I was offered. I think I ended up signing for 20 instead of 40 something, but, you know, for me to have the opportunity to play with those guys, you know, in my city,
and win
and for them to
championships.
sacrifice for you like that.
Yeah, and it showed a lot of respect because at that time I ain't no Bron and I ain't no CB.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All I knew was D-Wade, but I guess the respect that they had for me as a competitor, from a competitive standpoint, you know, was enough for them to say, yeah, we need this guy. This guy can help us. You know what I'm saying? So that was big for me because, you know, these guys all-stars, these guys are top players in the league. And, you know, we don't have no relationship.
And they want you to play with them.
They want me to play with them. So, you know, for me, you know, I took that a certain way and you know, I wanted to make good on that.
Straight up. When me and Q came out, we got drafted. We got the opportunity to go to Zoe Summer Groove.
Yes, sir.
So we came down here to Miami, and, you know, we kicking it and so forth on. And, you know, we down here a couple of days early before the Groove.
Young boys.
We run into Trick Daddy and Coconut Grove.
We was at
Trick
the
Daddy
Improv.
told me, he said, man, I just watched you on the McDonald's game, man. You was dunking that thing out, man. What y'all boys doing? We like, nothing, man. We trying to go out with us. He said, oh, no, boy, y'all can go with us, man. It was him and his brother. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, man, we going to go to Coco's.
Yes, sir.
I said, what? He said, Coco. He said, man, be ready, man. We going to pull up. This is when the excursions just came out.
Word.
Remember when them excursions just came out, them long boys, them big boys?
Yeah.
So Trick Daddy came and picked us up. This is like one of the first people we get a chance to be around in Miami. This before like all the players come down and we even start the weekend.
Yeah, this before
Trick Daddy come pick us up. Didn't know, like I said, he didn't know me from Sam. Me or Q from Sam. He just knew we was just on the draft and I was just in the McDonald's game.
And saw
picked us up,
Improv.
took us to Coco's. We sat in there and we kicked it in Coco's. He dropped us off. Man, I'm talking about had a good night with Trick Daddy. What do Trick Daddy like mean to you?
That's how Double is.
City?
That's how Double is, man. He the mayor, you know what I'm saying? That's how Double is. That's how he treats you. I known Trick since I was 18. You know, I'm 38 now. So I known Trick over 20 years, man. And when I see Trick all the time, it's all love. Like I said, like, you know what I'm saying? We just pick up where we left off at. And I ain't surprised he showed y'all love like that, man. That's like, you know what I'm saying? He take pride in being from this city, man. And when people come down here, he want everybody to have a good experience down here.
Hey, that's exactly what he said. He said, wait a minute, y'all boys ain't never been to Coco's?
Yeah, he want everybody to have a good experience.
I ain't never been to
down
Miami.
here,
I ain't never been to Coco's.
Yeah, he want everybody to enjoy themselves and enjoy the city, man. Just, you know, understand it's a bridge and it's the other side of the bridge.
And it was, like you said, it was drama free, bro. It was
two
straight.
sides.
Like I said,
man.
me and Q was rookie. We didn't have no money. We just got drafted a month ago.
And
we didn't really have no money. We had some little change, but not no money.
And fast forward,
and he took us in there and just showed us a good time and just
like now we know that it was the, you know, like the hood or whatever, but you couldn't have told us that it was all love up in there. He had all the love.
Because you good with Double, man, and that's how it's supposed to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Double gonna always show love, man, and when love is showed back, you know what I'm saying? I think it's the people that get confused that Miami and South Beach is two different places. Some people get that confused. Like, you can't act over across this bridge how you act on South Beach.
Yeah.
You come on this side of town, you come on a certain side of town, you gotta act a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? South Beach is South Beach and Miami is Miami. You know what I'm saying? And if you from here, you know the difference. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, I ain't been to South Beach until I got in the NBA.
Yeah.
I had never crossed that bridge and seen what was over there, them clubs, the water, all that they was doing over there.
Miami.
Yeah, and I had never been over there until I got to the NBA. We used to go to Hollover Beach. That's where all, you know what I'm saying, the black people used to go to Hollover Beach. That's where we, you know, you get over there, you got the grills out on the thing, jet skis, everybody vibing. That was the beach we went to. We didn't go to South Beach. So I ain't never go over there until I got in the NBA.
Word.
Like you came from Miami, from the bottom to the top, man. You done dreamed about being a Heat player and became a Heat player, became a champion. They say Wade County, but like, man, we look at you as like the mayor too, like Trick Daddy. Like you like a mayor too, not just for the Miami Heat, but for the streets. Yeah. Like everybody seen your growth. Like everybody come to you. Let's talk about like how you give back to the community and the things that you do around Miami for the people to appreciate you to do like your home. Yeah,
me and D-Wade, we figured it out. We, you know, like I said, we talk about the bridge, so I let him have South Beach. Yeah. Everything across the other side that belonged to me.
Straight up.
That's how we worked that out, and we happy with that. We happy with that structure. That structure works for us. So, you know, that's how we do that. But you know, for me, man, you know, I grew up. You know, my mother struggled with, you know, drug addiction and, you know, homelessness and just a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I got to this point, you know, I was blessed to have somebody step in my life, you know, with my stepmother, Barbara, you know, and then, you know, my father, you know, being there. But, you know, it took help from somebody to step in and fill a gap for a little while, you know. God willing, you know, my mother cleaned herself up and became an example and somebody who, you know, I always look up to and respect and was inspired by, and, you know, probably the strongest person I know. But, you know, I was raised and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for somebody's help. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was put in a position to help people. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of started out with, you know, just giving. I had a family friend that passed away, so, you know, we kind of took her kids in and was giving, and then I started doing things for the church, and then I started a foundation, you know, and now we have a reading writing program. We partner with grandparents raising grandkids, and then the next phase for me was providing jobs. Yeah. Because now it's like if I give you some money, it's gone in a little while. Yeah. Or if I die today, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people ask why I got, you know, the businesses and why this and why that. You know, you could have did anything. It's like, okay, but these businesses that I got into provide jobs, provide opportunities. So, you know, I done hired people that went to school with me. I done hired people that, you know, grew up with my pops. I done had my homeboy sister. Like, you know what I'm saying? I done did things like that. So, you know, at the end of the day, they can grow, you know, without me. You know, you don't even need me. You work, you know what I'm saying? You put yourself in a position to grow in these situations without my help. So, you know, that was the reason why I was able to get into those things. But, you know, for me, man, it's like I done went all the way around the world to France just to be back here, man. They gotta mean something. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do something with that opportunity. You know, I was at my grandma's house the other day. You know, I sat down with my grandma for about an hour, then I went in the backyard and I was looking at the court that I used to play at, you know, as a kid, man. And, you know, I just remember, you know, them battles me and my cousin used to have back there. And then, you know, it was a small court, and then if you got good enough to beat people on the small court, then a little bit further down, you go in the court with the grown-ups, you know what I'm saying? Now,
you work your way up.
Yeah, you know, how and that, you know, that court down there had dice games, all that down there. You know, we stayed on the other court, you know what I'm saying? That court down there had a little more action, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just remember all that. So, like I told you, you know, people only know, these kids only know what they see every day. You know what I'm saying? I only knew what I was around every day. So now I done made it out and I see different things. I just want these kids to know that there's something else out there for them that they willing to work for it and just sacrifice a little bit. Because I ain't telling you not to have no fun, but just not the fun that's going to get you killed. You know what I'm saying? Not the fun that's going to get you put in jail. You know what I'm saying? Not that kind of fun.
The fun you can go home, have a good night's sleep.
You know what I'm saying?
Do it again the next day.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I think the kids losing that, you know what I'm saying? Because either you scared to have fun because you can't let your guard down. You don't want to look soft. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, you ain't having no fun because, you know what I'm saying, you the one out there gooning. You know what I'm saying? So you can't smile about nothing because you on thug mode, you know what I'm saying, 24/7.
Mad at breakfast.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Game banging on breakfast.
Yeah, you feel me? So
game banging in breakfast.
The kids missing out on the opportunity to have fun from both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to have fun, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, you know, it was certain situations where, you know, you had to be on point a little more than other situations, man. But at the end of the day, you and your homeboys had fun. They can't have no fun no more. You know what I'm saying? They can't have no fun.
Yeah, I just want to talk about like how you said being from here, being homegrown from Miami, like to be able to stand here today, 16 years in, and just everything you accomplished, like you the all-time leading rebounder for the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Like after going undrafted, going to France, having to come in and kick down the back door, you know what I'm saying? Summer League, like here you are 3 chips later, you know what I'm saying? All-time Heat lifer, you know what I'm saying? They got to give you a statue or something, your jersey going up, and like this your crib.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you did it. You put on for your city literally. Yeah. And like you say, you doing philanthropy off the court. You putting on for your community. You a great family man, businessman. Like, salute, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, word up. Like that's major. Like, how that feel to do that at the crib?
I mean, it feels good, man. Like you said, coming through the back door, you know, not being drafted. You know, I speak on my mother a lot. And like I said, she was the strongest person I know. You know what I'm saying? To come from, you know, where she had to come from to build, you know, the brand that she had to build for herself before she passed away. So, like, I done seen so many struggles, man. Ain't nothing been easy for me. Like, I ain't never really been given nothing. So I've developed an unbelievable, you know what I'm saying, resilience and grit in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not only just growing up, or in my situation, but just watching so many homeboys pass away, man. Like, I got a closet with rest in peace t-shirts that I keep, you know what I'm saying, as my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the stack bigger than it need to be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I done seen everything but the win, man. So, I'm one of them people, man, that, you know, I'm here today, but, man, it ain't down show because things have went my way more majority of the time, man. So, you know, but I was always told by my mom, you know what I'm saying, what the Lord got for you is for you. You know what I'm saying? You can't envy nobody else's situation. You know what I'm saying? What the Lord got for you is for you. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of the people that I understand that I got to get it the hard way. And I've become accustomed to that. So I don't even want it the easy way no more. Like, I don't. Don't even give it to me. Because that ain't what I'm used to.
Yeah.
If you start giving me shit, I'm going to start questioning, like, hold on, what this shit attached to? What you want from me?
Straight up.
Like, what you trying, like, nah, why you giving me something? What you trying to be slick? Like, what? Like, nah, you know what? I pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't even used to getting nothing easy, man. So, like I said, man, to have to go through all that and to still be here today, man, it's a story to tell, man, but not just a story to tell just to tell it to get praised for it, but a story to tell to be an example for these shorties out here, man. Like, I don't walk around with no security, man. A shorty want to come up to me and we could talk, man. You come up to me, we have a conversation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I go over town, I go in the city, I go to Opelika, man. My face clean everywhere out here.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't be on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. So, like, for me, you know what I'm saying, I just want to continue to be an inspiration because I know I got a story to tell that can help and inspire somebody. Like, if somebody asked me without being here today, I couldn't have told them, You know what I'm saying? Not saying I'm doing this. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I would have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't had no backup plan.
Word.
You know, people ask me what you majored in college, I'd be like, basketball.
Straight up.
Because that's what I went for. I ain't saying I wasn't trying to do my schoolwork. But if you ask me what I signed a basketball scholarship. That's why they brought me here.
Yeah.
They ain't brought me here to be a biologist.
Yeah.
They ain't brought me here to be a mathematician. They brought me here to play basketball. So when people say, yeah, you know what you do, that, I majored in basketball. You got your degree yet? Not yet. I'm going to get it, but until I get it, I have a lot of people that work for me that have their degree, and I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Because I understand what I'm good at, and I understand what they good at.
Yeah.
That's important too.
You know what I'm saying? You got to surround yourself with the right people as well. You know what I'm saying? That's more important than anything. Coming from where we come from, we know the reality of surrounding yourself with the wrong people can get you killed.
Straight up.
Facts.
You know what I'm
Straight
saying?
up.
So if you understand that at a young age, then you should damn sure know that as a grown up.
Definitely should. You definitely should.
You know what I'm saying?
You definitely should. When you came up, you started loving this game. And when I came up, you know, it was KGs, the Tracy McGrady's, the Kobe's. Them was the players that I was looking at, like Pippen and Jordan. Like, who was the players that you was looking at? You was coming from Florida. Like, who was, like, when you was in high school, who was that player that you seen before you got to high school? Like, oh, that's him. Or then when you was looking in the league, who was the players that you was looking at to be like, that's him? Or,
man, you know, coming from when I playing from Miami High, you know what I'm saying, we had like a similar culture. It's almost similar to like the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of the guys that came before us, you know what I'm saying, always showed love and looked out for us and took us under their wing. So, you know, them guys would still come back for the summertime. So, you know, I had a chance to play with, you know, guys like Allen Edwards, Steve Edwards, all the Edwards boys, Doug Edwards, Devin Davis, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people know Pope from when he played with Miami of Ohio with the dreads. Like, it wasn't too many people playing with dreads, so a lot of them dudes took us under their wing, man. So them was the dudes we looked up to, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was keeping us out of trouble. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, they was still, they still had, they still did whatever they had to do. They was older than us. You know what I'm saying? So them was the dudes we really looked up to. So, I was always under the wing of the OGs, man. Yeah. Some shape, form, or fashion. I was always under the wing of the OGs, man. Even, as a youngster, I always hung with older people. You know what I'm saying? I kind of gravitated to my brother's friends as more than my friends. You know what I'm saying? I was bigger than everybody that I probably would, was hanging out with anyway. So I just came up under that, man. That's probably why I'm so good, with the young guys now, man. It's because I always came up with under the OGs, man. And, man, like, I still go to the barbershop on Fridays, man, and we get $5 Coronas and talk shit, like, you know what I'm saying? And you'll walk out of the,
so many web gyms, man.
Listen, you'll walk out of the barbershop fulfilled.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Fulfilled with knowledge and everything, man. So I still enjoy doing that, man, because, you know what I'm saying, they sitting back there, you got people sitting in the black playing dominoes, you know what I'm saying, you got the music playing, you discussing sports, this, that, and the third, and, it's just funny to hear some of the opinions of the OGs sometimes, man, when they talking, they know every goddamn thing, but you can't tell them nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got all the sense, so, I still enjoy doing that, man. That's fun for me.
Yeah, was there anybody in the league that you looked up to?
Yeah.
That you was like, man, I like their game, and I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Even though your game might not be like that, but you wanted it to be like that.
Yeah. For me, watching NBA basketball, I was all about, watching guys that win. You know what I'm saying? So I always enjoyed watching, Magic. You know what I'm saying? And how he was able to do everything on the basketball court, and how he helped, move the needle and winning. You know what I'm saying? When Kareem was out and Magic had to play center and went down there in the paint. And I don't know, I can't remember his exact numbers, but he sky hooked him to death. He sky hooked him to death.
Against Philadelphia.
Sky hooked their ass to death down there, man. Yeah, sky hooked their ass to death. So, guys like that, you know what I'm saying? Bird, you know what I'm saying? How he was able to get down, man. But, one of my favorite players, I would say now, today, in the game today, and it's just because I had a chance to up close see it, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, I thought I worked hard, but I didn't know, the medical side of it and educate myself on this, how hard Braun worked. How hard Braun worked to keep his body right, how hard Braun worked, to still stay at a high level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was just hit the gym every day, hit the weight room, you know what I'm saying? But it's a science to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And for me, he helped me understand that science to it, just watching him and being around him.
Yeah.
So, it's been a lot of different players on a lot of different levels, man. The thing for me is I can't say I have one favorite, but I have a lot of different guys that I've been around that have been able to give me something that's helped me be who I am today. You know what I'm saying? Gary Payton, you know what I'm saying, with the defense, and can't forget how much shit GP talk. He don't stop talking shit. He probably talking shit
right now.
Probably talking shit about somebody right now.
Right
now. Something.
Right now.
He's selling out right now. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, big fella, Shaq, you know what I'm saying, is, he always, uplifted his teammates. When I played with him, he was always somebody that kept it light, but he was always somebody that breathed life into you and gave you the ultimate confidence.
He did us like that. We played for the Clippers. Like, he showed us nothing but love.
Yeah,
like a
he
big
was always
brother.
somebody that breathed life into you and gave you confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like Zoe, you know what I'm saying? The straight up work part of it. You know what I'm saying? In the gym, in the weight room before at practice, in the weight room after practice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had Brian Grant. You know what I'm saying? Another worker.
Brian Grant.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Eddie Jones. Let's not forget. Shout out Eddie for a lot of deals. County, man, had a chance to play with him. So all these guys I had a chance to play with, you know what I'm saying, had something that I was able to say, damn, that's a quality that I want. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to implement all those qualities and still be who I am, you know what I'm saying, it just helps me relate to this next generation. Because, man, if I didn't have those qualities, I wouldn't understand these Thundercats, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you, man.
I want to talk about that because, like, what you able to do and, like, the impact that I know that you have is, like, one of the major things that the league is missing as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I feel like all teams need that veteran presence of a real genuine veteran. I mean, outside of you, a lot of these teams, you look at their veterans, they got 5 and 6 years. They got 4 and 5 years, and they came in at 19, so they still young men. They ain't even grew into you know what I'm saying, to a real mature, because you know we all thought we was grown ass men at 21, 22, and we now know that we were far from it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got, in some scenarios, not all, but in some scenarios, you got young, immature kids leading other young, immature kids.
Facts, baby.
And this is a prime scenario, like where even when D-Wade left, you were here to ring them in and curtail whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I see the, you know, the relationship and the chemistry you have with those guys, with all of them, and it's a genuine, great chemistry. They look up to you and they listen to you, and they, you know what I'm saying, you got them the right way. And like you said, you got the type of personality where anybody who know anything about you know you about that if you gotta be. But that's not what drives you. That's not what you know what I'm saying, you respond accordingly.
Yeah.
So everybody know you with the business, but like same time they know that like you got wisdom to bestow and like you a good person. So just from that standpoint, talk about your relationship with the young guys and how, you know what I'm saying, how you work with them and what type of value you get out of that and the appreciation you get from doing that.
I mean, it's just different now. You know what I'm saying? And we could take it a step further. Like I told you, like, you know, a lot of people grew up with, you know, a situation where maybe their father wasn't around, you know what I'm saying, but they had OGs. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, even though he wasn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying, at the crib with you, you know what I'm saying, he was somebody that might have kept you out of trouble because he seen something in you. You know what I'm saying? So he'd be like, you want to be somewhere you ain't supposed to be, hey, take your little ass home. Here go $10.
Right.
I don't see you around here no more. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? We always had those kind of OGs, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's always good to have somebody who's not having the intimidation factor of being your father, but somebody who you can listen to and that can kind of sway you in the right direction and you value their opinion. So for me, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm saying I could talk that talk with them boys all day long, and I ain't coming at them as a coach. I ain't coming at them, you know what I'm saying, you know, from a coaching standpoint, but what you got to understand is everybody is different, so you got to deliver your message different. Some people you could cuss out and they could take it. Some people you cuss out and they go in the shell. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to get to know everybody, man, because everybody different, man. So that take time understanding who you're dealing with these young dudes, man. A lot of young boys be fragile. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them be fragile. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them be fragile. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that moving forward, man, because you want to get the best out of them. You don't want them to dislike you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm here for you. I got 3 rings. Every time I grab a rebound, that's a record.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a new record. I grab one, that's a record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, you know what I'm saying? I just, you know what I'm saying? I want to see these boys have success, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bar, though. You say every time I grab a rebound, that's a record.
Oh, I be yelling that too.
That's a new record.
That's a record.
Damn,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's a bar.
Yeah, for me, I just want them boys to have success, man. So I like, my emotions go up and down with them boys while they on the court, man. And the things that we working on, I work with them before practice, I work with them after practice, because to me, that's like my game. That's where I get my fulfillment, is working with them and practicing with them and going through stuff with them. And then when we step on the court, you know, I want to see that stuff manifest, man. But like I said, we grew up, we had OGs, man, and I just feel like, you know, it's not too many OGs, like you said, in the NBA right now, man.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? And they need that, because a lot of these kids, like you said, you know, when we grew up, sometimes you might not have had a father figure, but you had an OG. When you in this NBA life, man, your daddy can't tell you about being an NBA player. He don't know that. He don't know that lifestyle.
He don't know it.
And ain't nobody could prepare you for that.
Nobody.
Not nobody, except somebody that done been there and that's been in it. And if he's with you every day, on you every day, in your ear every day, you know what I'm saying, you can't help but, especially if it's somebody like me that's coming with, you know, not only the knowledge but the credentials to back it up. And like, I'm on that. Like, you know what I'm saying, I ain't coming to you on no sucker shit. I'm on that. Like, you know what I'm saying, I ain't no coach. I'm one of y'all. But I'm gonna tell you what's best for you, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? These dudes trust me, man. I look them in the eye all the time. I say, if you trust me, listen, you bullshitting tonight. Stop bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's just a championship level, a way to talk to these boys, man. So like I said, just understanding these dudes, man, you got to understand how you get that message across to everybody, because everybody different, man.
Real talk. When that ball go up, shit get real.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always, like, you know what I'm saying? I always took the mentality, man, like, everything I took personal. You know what I'm saying, on the basketball court. Everything I took personal. Yeah, man. If it wasn't a chip out there on my shoulder, I'd find me one. You know what I'm saying? Just to be motivated. You know what I'm saying?
Like
he ain't lying.
I was just
he
like
ain't
that
lying,
too.
Boss.
I'll find something.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, that's why.
Just so I can be competitive and won't get this dude no shortcuts.
Man, used to call me angry. What's that? Angry black man? Angry something, man.
Yeah.
Hey, boy.
you played with a lot of players.
I
Like
had to be, man. I had to be angry.
you played
like
with
that.
a lot of players, and you seen a lot of basketball coming up through the rankings and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Who was like that one person that you was like, it might not be somebody made to NBA or anybody that was like a walking bucket. Like every time you see, he was like, man, he scored with the best of them. That's who was that?
God bless his soul, Rasul Butler.
Rasul Butler.
Bob used to get buckets.
Yes, he did.
I remember he
Rasul
like
Butler.
we'll sit the whole he'll sit a whole quarter with the Heat and stand and put him in. It's like pop, 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 mid post pop, 3 pop, one dribble pull up pop. Like he was just like a quick bucket, like not even need no warm up. I always had to get warm. I ain't never been nobody just
Right.
put me in after 3 quarters of not playing. I'm just finna be the microwave Vinnie Johnson. Like
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
Ras-
Like Bob was a
Rasul.
bucket.
Rasul Butler was one of them dudes like you too. Every time I seen him, it was right back where we left off. He was like a good dude.
Great dude.
He
great
was
dude.
always like breaking up confusion. Like,
Yeah.
nah, we ain't on that. Like he was always
Great
just like
dude. Great
a
dude.
good dude.
Good dude, man.
R.I.P.
I enjoyed him,
Rasul
man.
Butler,
I
man.
got some
That's-
time to spend with him. You know, obviously when he was here, we hung out a lot. And like you said, you know, anytime you here and you hanging out, you know what I'm saying, you good. Like I
Yeah.
had that relationship with him, and we had that same relationship when I went out to Philly. You know, I spent some
Yeah.
time hanging out in Philly. You know what I'm saying? And he took me in, and I met his family, and it's just the same thing, man. So, you know, when you think about, you know, I've seen a lot of guys that's been able to do it. You know what I'm saying? John Wallace, we talked about John. He was an instant buck, quick. You know what I'm saying?
Wallace.
Even when he was
I don't
older,
remember John
even
Wallace
when-
getting buckets
Word,
like that.
bro.
John Wallace used to get
he was
buckets.
a buck, like quick on your ass, mid,
real.
most, whatever you want. He, like I said, he talking about LO talking shit. Him and LO talk shit all day, and they get into that. Come on, son, you garbage, son.
Every time
You
they
garbage,
seen
son. You
each
know
other.
it. You know it, son. And
When
they
we
get
got
into
in
that
the league,
shit.
they talking shit to each other. I don't know what LO had on
And after
with
practice, they
John
gotta play.
Wallace.
Now after practice, they got to play 1-on-1 for an hour and a half. Or, you garbage, son. You know it, son. You know it. I've been giving you buckets. Like,
That's hilarious.
so yeah, that was always funny.
We got a thing that we do called Better in the 90s or Better Now.
Talking about me, definitely better now. Definitely better now.
Haircuts. Better in the 90s or better now?
Haircuts.
Haircuts.
Nah,
You see the little nappy head
I gotta
motherfuckers
say the
now?
90s, man. This shit here, they
They
got
had
out of
them
control.
nice shapes up, shape
Yeah,
ups.
this shit done got. Listen, I ain't mad at it, man. But some of this shit out of control.
Hold up, though. Let me ask you this, though, on
I
this
done seen
subject.
half dread, half plaits with half
Yeah,
froze. And,
yeah.
come on, man.
So let me ask you this, though, on the subject of the new hair. What you think about bro with the braids? Like and cause you the original braid guy. You stay
Yeah.
with the straight backs. I know you cut them
Yeah,
out.
you
You
have.
ever coming back and
Yeah.
what do you think of D Wade with the braids?
Bro, one last dance come with a midlife crisis. I told him he gonna pull up with a red what the motorcycles red
Ducati?
Ducati with a leather jacket in a week.
Do rag on.
With his knee touching the ground.
What was he going through a midlife crisis? Let me pull up with a red Ducati riding a motorcycle in a week, boy.
Hey.
But nah, man, like, you know what I'm saying? The one thing I always respected about D, man, he always been with whatever it was he wanted to do, fashion wise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, one day I told him, I said,
No
man,
matter how hard we criticize.
one day I pull him to the side, I said, man, don't nobody never tell you no? He said, nah.
Hey, bro, one
I said,
time I think it was after he
you
wore.
might fire their ass if you think they do.
Man, look, bro, I think it was after he wore them. One of them, it was during the Big 3 era. He wore one of them things where I think it was like some pink or some salmon pants. Some of them thing was so tight. I hit him after the game. I say, come on there, dog. What's you? He said, hold on. This what he hit me back with. He said, yo, I do this because I can.
Nah, listen, I ain't gonna lie.
I
I
said,
ain't gonna
wait,
lie.
what you talking about?
I ain't gonna lie. I done somewhat.
Yeah, you
Fitted
changed
it up a
too.
little bit.
You changed,
I done
bro.
somewhat fitted
I
up.
told you when I saw you on the run
changed.
the way, walk
The
the way.
homeboys
what
in the
was
hood
it?
was telling us you changed, bro.
Yeah,
You
that boy got
changed, bro. They
fitted
told me,
clothes and little tight little shirts
They
and
don't be
little.
tight, man. They
Nah,
don't be
you
tight
had
no
on a
more.
young
They
shirt,
be-
bro.
listen,
Now I
man,
give
it
you,
just be
you
a
don't
little
do, you
more
don't let
fitted.
your pants be tight like him,
Nah,
but
it
you
just-
got
oh,
you had
yeah,
a
man,
shirt
you don't
that's
gotta
showing
dress
off
like
your
the young
It
muscles.
just be a
man.
little fitted, man. That's all. It don't be tight like that, man. But You know, I got it. Like I said, man, he ain't never been afraid to try stuff fashion wise. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's become so influential. You know, a lot of this stuff these boys doing now. I told him the other day, I said, I blame you, man.
Yeah.
They done took what you did and I went too damn far. They done started where you started at and went too damn far.
Listen, I don't know what to say about it these days.
Nah, but man, you know what? I tell them, but you know what I'm saying? It's all fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, like I told you, man, outside of what, you know what I'm saying, they doing on the basketball court, when we got to certain situations, man, the kids are not allowed to have fun no more. So I see a lot of people having fun with the way they dressing and with their fashion and even with the music, man. Like the music we used to listen to was, you know, a lot more aggressive. Yeah. You know, this music they listen to, they can dance
Party.
and they do
it's
all
lit.
that and,
it's lit.
You know what I'm saying? They doing all that. You know what I'm saying? So they can have fun with it. The music we listen to, we weren't really dancing like that.
Well, since you're saying about music, let me ask you this: if you stranded on the island and you only can have 5 albums, what would be your 5 albums?
On me?
Oh, Tupac.
Definitely one. Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent.
Straight up. That was hard when that dropped.
Trick, Book of Thugs, Chapter AK, verse 47. That's my third one. That's the one I want. Book of Thugs, Chapter AK, 37. Yes, Thug Motivation will be my next one. That's 4, right?
Yeah. Man Law, right?
Yes, sir. And 5, I would have to say, you know, Jay-Z. You know, is one of my favorite artists. If I had to say my favorite, I would have to say Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying? I used to wake up to that. You know what I'm saying? I used to have, you know, back in the day when you had the old school DVD player. Yeah. I put the shit in there and set the alarm, and when that shit come on, it be Reasonable Doubt play. You know what I'm saying? The track. You know what I'm saying? Skit. Yeah. And then it just come to start playing Big Man. Yeah. That shit come on. That shit take off, and I wake up and start my day to that.
Straight up. Miami Heat got them Miami Vice jerseys. One of the dopest jerseys in the league. Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
That thing took off.
Are the jerseys in the 90s better than the jerseys now?
No. I think, you know, the jerseys now just allow a lot more creativity. I think the jerseys back then, you either had some cursive or just regular big ugly ass letters. You know, I think now they just being a little more creative, you know, coming with way more color waves.
I was about to say, I got so many different sets of jerseys.
The color waves is crazy, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, when they dropped the Vice jersey, no mistaking who's on with the first one to sell out when them things hit the market.
Let me ask you this.
Showed me love. My city, they take care of me.
Let me ask you this. When people want your jersey, do they be like, yeah, I want that Vice one. I don't really want I don't want the regular. Like when you give me one, give me that Vice one.
I've had requests for the Vice jersey for sure. Like definitely when them things hit the scene, everybody hit me up, and I'm like, damn, I don't really got. I guess they felt like I had to plug, and I do, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I get it for you, then like you ain't really supporting me. I'm supporting you. Like damn, like
that's
you know
true.
what I'm saying. So a lot of people ask for those Vice jerseys, but then I think they came out with like some shoes. People had like Air Maxes that matched them out. So you know what I'm saying. It was a whole little movement, man. But the Heat did their thing with that though.
Yeah, they goes hard.
Did their thing with that. That Miami Vice thing went hard.
Hey, would you say better in the '90s or now? Pat Riley.
Ha.
OG Pat.
That's a good question. Pat's been great for a long time. I would have to say now.
Just getting better with
now.
The time.
Yeah, because you know what? He ain't bored with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He probably more motivated now than he ever was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we all know what it is to be motivated. We all know how I feel to be motivated. You know what I'm saying? And he's motivated to take, you know, this team and this organization back to a championship level, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't have a conversation without Pat without walking away with some sort of wisdom in some shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, I've been so fortunate in this league, and that's why when people say about going and playing somewhere else, man, I just got things here that money can't buy. You know what I'm saying? When people talk about where you going for dinner tonight, I be like, I'm going to my stepmama's house. Where you going?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How much you paying? Because whatever you paying for ain't going to be like what I'm finna eat tonight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just certain luxuries, man. It's a certain luxury to be able to sit down and, you know what I'm saying, before y'all came, you know what I'm saying, we sitting out here, like, we at the gambling table. Can I tell them that?
Yeah.
It's my gambling table. We done moved it over. This where the poker and the dice and all that go down. You know what I'm saying? So it's fortunate. I'm fortunate to have the homeboys over and to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to have those moments. So, you know, for me, you know, I ain't, man, money can't buy those things like that, man.
buy
It
that.
can't buy that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
My face
genuine
good
time.
everywhere here. You know what I mean? Everywhere.
Better Miami rappers. Better in the 90s. What Florida rappers? Better in the 90s or better now?
That's a great question. Now, definitely now. You know, I think Ross has taken it to another level.
Yeah.
You know, double first. You know, obviously Luke had that movement. You know what I'm saying, with the bass.
Would
You know
Double
what
be
I'm saying?
considered a 90s? Because he came out in the 90s.
Yeah. But his best music was close to the late 90s, early 2000s when I was in college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely it was phases, and it was carried from different phases. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, Luke came out, and it was saying he was like, you know what I'm saying, he went to court, you know what I'm saying, fought for freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Uncle Luke, man. That's
Shout out to Uncle Luke.
You know
they
what I'm
don't know
saying?
that. They need to tell their story.
Yeah, he fought for freedom of speech, man, went to court, you know what I'm saying, and put his reputation and put everything on the line so we could be able to say what we want to say on these tracks, you know what I'm saying? Then we was always known for booty music and bass music, and then Trick took it to that next level with that thug music. You know what I'm saying? And then we had Ross, who grabbed the baton. He just took it to another level, you know what I'm saying, with, you know what I'm saying, with the same type of music, but, you know what I'm saying, just a little more articulate with just how he doing things.
Yeah,
and now we talking businesses. Now we talking,
Ross did it.
you know what I'm saying, you know, fast cars. Now we talking this, that, and the third. Now,
Rose.
so we just got guys that's just carrying the torch and just passing it along, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at City Girls, what they doing, the success that they having right now. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's no City Girls without the success of Trina.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all the music is just, you know, the torch is being passed, man. I'm just good to see that, man. There's a lot of little young dudes
Ain't
out
JT
here.
Money from Florida?
Yes, sir.
JT Money was my guy.
Yes, sir. Listen,
JT Money was my guy.
Listen, that right there is probably, if I'm being probably honest, that's probably my favorite rapper from
JT
Miami.
Money. We used to bump there in St. Louis.
He's probably
Like,
my favorite rapper from Miami.
St. Louis is like half country, half Midwest, half West Coast. We like all over the place.
If I'm being honest, he's probably my favorite rapper.
We used
from
to bump
Miami.
that JT
We
Money.
still bump JT, man, to this day.
Straight up.
To this day, JT definitely from Miami. That's the homie too. You know, I have the opportunity to hang out with all.
How you
these
like
dudes.
the new kids like Kodak Black? Yeah.
I love Kodak. When I listen to the new generation, Kodak is one of the ones I listen to. I don't listen to too many, but Kodak one of them. You know what I'm saying? I got mad love for Kodak, man. Kodak straight. And he love the Gators. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a Gator, so you know what I'm saying, man. I vibe with Kodak, man. My kids put me on that. They think I ain't supposed to listen to what they listen to though, so I play Kodak. I sneak and play Kodak.
Straight up. We appreciate you coming. Appreciate you having us at the crib, man.
Y'all asked me to be on here. I was excited, boy. And then to make it real, and be honest, man, I done been asked to be on a couple podcasts, bro. Outside of like podcasts for like the Heat, where they asked me to do something for like a Sports Illustrated or something. I ain't done nobody else podcast. This is the first podcast that I've done outside of like sports related and stuff that I had to do for my job. Like I was honored to be on y'all boys podcast.
We want to honor you, man, and show you the love that you deserve. Like, you know, these folks don't know like the hard work you put in and how you came up and what you came through and how you represented a state that you've been living in your whole life.
Literally got it tatted on my back.
On every level.
Literally got the state on my back.
Every level of the game. So
and and like I said, man, real recognize real, man. Like it ain't nobody getting on this podcast to talk to no phonies and fakes, man. I ain't with all that. I got better things to do. My son had a baseball game tonight. You know what I'm saying? So the respect that I got for y'all is beyond the game of basketball, and that's why like I'm here on this podcast doing this with y'all, man. Like it's real, it's love, bro. Like it is what it is, man. Like I respect that because it ain't like that out here in these days. You know what I'm saying? You know how we all know how it is out here, man.
Men got sharpened men.
Yeah, man. So you know what I'm saying? It's genuine, bro, and I appreciate y'all having me.
Man,
appreciate it, bro.
For sure.
Bro.